I'm Dr. Kate, and today's Talk with the Doc is on desert tortoises. Our guest stars today are Squirt and Pocahontas. These two are California desert tortoises. There's a lot of species of tortoise though, and people own a variety as pets. For tortoises, if they live outside, this is a great example of an enclosure. Ideally, the edges should be cement so they can't dig out, and the inside should be dirt because they like to dig holes. Right now they don't have a hole because they just woke up from hibernation, but throughout the summer they will dig a new hole for them to hide in. Another thing they should have, it's good for them to have some rocks, as well as these are great examples of grass plants that are edible. So they can eat these. They're really tall right now because again they've been hibernating, but over the spring and summer they will eat these all the way down. If you need to give other food, or if your tortoise lives indoors, you can also buy grass pellets. This is made by ZoomEd, and they're a grass pellet. You add a little water and it will turn into grass. Tortoises should eat mostly grasses. A lot of people want to give them fruit, which they do like, but a lot of fruit is very high in moisture and sugar and is not actually good for them. They can eat a little bit of vegetables, preferably lettuces, but most of their diet should be grasses. For their water, you should have a wide, shallow pan. A good example is the water dish that they have. It's a little stone pan that's wide and shallow. You don't want it too deep because they could drown, but you want it wide enough that they can soak because they do enjoy laying in the water and soaking. Another thing to know about them is in the winter they hibernate. So for hibernation, you don't want to leave them outside because depending on where you live, you can get too much rain. They shouldn't have a lot of moisture. So for hibernation, you can do a couple of options. You can either put them in a crate or box and keep them in your garage, or you can also, what we do is we leave them outside but in a enclosed area in a doghouse and close it off. That way they can't get wet, but they're protected, and it's cold enough that they will go to sleep. And they sleep all winter and they wake up as it starts to get warm. They just woke up recently and now that it's heating up, and so they're enjoying some sun. If they live indoors, they can't get sun inside. Outdoors, they'll bask and get sun. But indoors, if they're in a terrarium, they will have to have a UVB light and a heat light. Another thing to know about them is these guys are a big commitment. I've had these since I was 7. So they can live to be up to 100 depending on the species. And so when you get one, be aware that they will live a very, very long time. And they will grow a lot. When I first got these little guys, they fit in my palm. These are full grown, but some species of tortoise can get much, much larger. So be aware of how large your tortoise will get before purchasing one, because depending on the species, you may need a larger enclosure for them. Well, that was today's Talk with the Doc. If you have a request for next week, let us know on Facebook. Bye.